Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex and I would absolutely love it, okay, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support me, if you would like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps the videos to get out there, it inspires me to keep creating, and it just lets me know you guys like the videos. Now we are going to talk about days 61 and 62. Day 61, very boring, bare. They had the veto competition. Almost nothing happened. And I was starting to get very concerned about this week and if we were going to even have things to talk about. But leave it to this house to get a little irritated. You know, it took them like 2 or 3 days to start getting irritated, getting annoyed with one another. And we have some tea, okay? We have some tea. We have a veto winner. We have a veto decision. We have a janky veto. And we also have a little bit of drama with Chelsie and Cam and Mackenzie. So, needless to say, the feeds definitely picked up yesterday, and we're going to jump all into that. So strap in, y'all. Stay here. Let's get into day 61 and 62 in this lunatic house. So, let's begin with day 61. Day 61, we start off with our veto players picked. We find out that it will be Leah, Chemo, Rubina, Angela, Chelsie, and Tikor. That was kind of who we had playing the veto. Now, we have the feeds go down for a competition. Prior to that, again, a whole lot of nothing really happened, but the feeds do go down for the competition, and we come back to our winner being none other than Angela.
And you always want to rush, and like all of them have one thing in common. It's like you have to be slow and steady.
I feel like because I wasn't really stressed out about it and just was doing it to.
Angela is the winner of the veto. But we also find out that we have what is called the janky veto in play. And now it is still not clear up until this moment exactly what the janky veto is. However, we do find out through some conversations with Leah that basically it sounds like she's going to have to do some kind of competition or not a competition, but more so like a challenge. It sounds like she's probably gonna have to bring 1,000 balls to one side of the yard or something. And then if she completes it, she will also have a veto to use. Now, we do learn that Leah has to decide first if she would like to use her veto, and then Angela gets to use her veto. But as we see through different conversations with Leah, especially over the course of yesterday, it doesn't sound like she's planning on using the janky veto, but she's not going to throw the competition either. So that is kind of where we are at. And as I look, Angela is a beast. Angela is a beast, okay? Somebody put a post together that said that there has only been 1 week in this house that Angela has not had safety, either through being saved by the veto or being HOH herself. There's only been 1 week, and it's been kind of insane. And for what it's worth, you know, I've said it, I don't think Angela's gonna win. I think this house is far too bitter against Angela for her to pull out a win in Final 2. I think the only path I see Angela winning in Final 2 is if she's against Cam. But I do think we need to start having conversations about Angela being a good player, because she is a good player. I don't care what anyone says. She's a good player. So anyway, after the veto, we do find out that it was a puzzle. Angela talks about how because she didn't need to win the veto, and she was just doing the puzzle and doing her thing, and she wasn't stressed out. And I think this is one thing we noticed with Angela, where it's like when Angela's not frazzled, her reads on the game are good. Her takes on the game are good. She does well in competitions. I feel like it's when Angela thinks she's in danger that she really starts to spiral. So after the veto competition, we do see Angela crying, okay? Angela was sitting on the cot crying. I think she was crying of happiness, but I thought it was funny. I'm like, are you safe? Why are you crying? We see Chelsie's face. She is not happy. Tikor and Rubina do have a conversation though, and Tikor and Rubina are both becoming very aware that if nominations stay the same, it is likely that Chemo's going home. And we need this to be very clear. I want to really make it clear how much like Rubina and T-Core basically are like writing off Chemo. Essentially, like they have basically decided that it's likely that Chemo's going to go home at this point, and that because of that, they're like, well, oh well, you know, it was nice working with Chemo, but Girls Alliance all the way. And they have basically thrown Chemo to the side. It's honestly kind of sad to watch, especially from T-Core, because I'm like, that's been like your right-hand man, and all of a sudden, now that he's in danger, you kind of are like, Chemo who? Chemo? Oh no, I don't work with Chemo. Now they do say that if they make a game move and put up Cam, that Cam is going to go home. I don't know where they got it from, that Cam was an option. But anyway, Rubina tells her that she is worried about Leah and Angela working together to backdoor somebody. Ding, ding, ding. Now, T-Core says she wants to say something to Angela about how rude she's been, and that's
like part of me after the veto ceremony, maybe even just for myself, wants to just be like, girl.
one big thing that T-Core's been complaining about since they've been outside, about how rude Angela's been, how she's been annoying, how she can't stand her attitude. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this is really even in reference to, but she is overall worried about what Angela will plan to do with the veto. Rubina tries to reassure T-Core, like, look, no matter what, if you're on the block or not, every single person in this house still wants you here. And I don't know. I do find this to be a very weird dynamic, especially with Rubina, because even later on in the day, Rubina flat out tells T-Core yet again, like, hey, look, I'm gonna be honest, you're probably gonna win against me, but I don't mind though, because, you know, this has been a great experience and we're good friends. And I'm like, this is very strange to me. Like, we're throwing away $750 for friendships? Like, I don't know. If you know me, I do not like that kind of gameplay. I don't like I hate it when, like, the bros do it, when they're like, yeah, I'm gonna bring this guy that I've been with the whole time to Final 2 and win against him, you know, and I'm gonna beat him fair and square. I don't like when the girls do it, when they say, oh, but our friendship is stronger than anything, you know, us two, you know, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, we have each other. Y'all are acting like 750K is not a lot of money. I don't know. So T-Core says they feel like with Chemo gone, they'll be less threatening in the game. Again, they're trying to sow the seeds of like, well, we don't need Chemo. We're with the Girls Alliance. Right now we have Chemo, and he's the reason why we're a threat, because he's a guy and the girls don't trust him. And it's like, yeah, the read's not great. T-Core says if she or Chelsie go up, that is not a smart move with the jury. And overall, T-Core feels that the best move next week is putting up Angela or Leah if Angela doesn't win HOH. And she says next week we could take out Leah the following week. So Chelsie and T-Core also have a conversation.
And that was my biggest issue with Leah. And I told her, Leah and I talked for 3 hours the night before HOH. And I told her everything. I was just like, listen, I was annoyed because A, B, C.
And a lot of this conversation got chopped up by the feeds, so, you know, just gonna get the little pieces that I heard. Chelsie says overall she is sick of Leah's woe is me gameplay. This, everybody's so mean to me. I'm not in any groups. Everybody's so close, but I'm not a part of it. Just that whole thing that Leah's been saying over and over again. Chelsie claims she does not have any idea what MJ will do in the vote this week. T-Core says probably Chemo if by a miracle he's here, and Angela or maybe her. Oh, I put MJ. Chelsie claims she doesn't know what Angela will do with not MJ, Leah, sorry, will do. Now, Chelsie says it's gonna come down at this point to who wins. And T-Core says, look, like, I love Cam, but he's not a priority. However, if Cedric was here, now Cedric would have been a priority to me. T-Core says she would have taken Leah's HOH deal because we saw the last 3 people, Leah tried to like kind of make a deal with them, but she would have went back on it. Now, T-Core and Rubina, they have a late night conversation. This is like after they had gotten woken up for like a late night dance party and they just couldn't fall asleep. So they're talking at like 5 a.m. Now they're discussing that if Chemo gets out, the girls can make it to Final 6 and Duke it out. They talk about how Angela likes Chemo, but she doesn't really see him as a part of her final plans, and also how she's talking about seeing the trio as a threat. Now again, in these conversations, you have to note that T-Core is basically acting as if Chemo's already gone. Like, T-Core has not tried to campaign for Chemo. She has not tried to make it seem like the trio is not a threat. It seems like T-Core is basically full steam ahead on just being like, it's me and Rubina, the girls, and hey, sorry about Chemo, but he'll be upset, but he'll probably still vote for us in jury, which I don't know, and I don't love that. Rubina does not want Leah in the end, but they do both agree that they would vote for her over Mackenzie if they're sitting together in Final 2. T-Core says if Chemo is up against any woman, he goes home. And, you know, they're kind of like, do you think, like, Chemo would be, like, upset about this, or, like, how would he feel about that? And, you know, they're both like, he would probably be upset, but, like, he'll get over it. Like, that's what they keep saying about Chemo, that like, yeah, these things will probably upset him, but he'll get over it in the future. Now, they talk about being the longest standing trio and how others are jealous of the relationship they have. And they claim that Leah will have to, their favorite phrase, fall in line with the votes because Quinn is gone. Rubina talks about how T-Core hasn't touched the block, probably won't touch the block, and will likely win over her, but she doesn't care because she values their friendship. Day 62. So this is a day, we didn't have any competition or anything this day. Again, a lot of laying around, a lot of dance parties, but this day we finally got some game talk, and that's what I like to hear. So Chemo and Angela have their one-on-one.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Because yeah, it's actually, yeah, I have to reconfigure everything. Just because of this one, I don't know what.
Remember, Angela is the regular veto winner. So Chemo basically asks Angela to consider using the veto on him. He says, like, I'll do whatever you need, whatever you want. Like, I'm not, again, he says, like, I'm kind of doing me. Like, I don't have any solid things that I'm doing, and I've never came up after you. Angela says, look, I want to talk with everyone. You know, I've already made my decision, though. No one's changing my mind. I've made my decision. You don't have to worry about it. No one's going to stir it up. So Angela does say she has a lot to say in front of everyone during the meeting today. But she says, look, you're good, okay? Don't do too much. Don't be too happy, but you're good. I have to do the courtesy and I have to do other talks, but I feel really good about it. And in case you're wondering, like, why Angela is so adamant about saving Chemo, Angela basically feels really bad about the fact that she was on the wrong side of the vote 2 times and voted Chemo out. And so she feels like because, like, there's never been evidence that Chemo's going against her, there's never been evidence that, like, Chemo is somebody that she should be worried about. She feels like she owes him by using the veto on him. So it is looking like, as of right now, Angela will be using the veto on Chemo. So Angela and Chelsie also have their one-on-one.
Reached a point in their game where they had to fend for themselves. Like, they played their game. And I think I told you this, but when you try to create an alliance to get Tucker out, I was like, badass. Yes.
Too soon.
Because no.
And Angela says, look, I trust that, you know, Cam would not have put me up in the competition 100%. They're talking in reference to Cam, Angela, and Leah being the final 3 and the deal that was trying to be made. Angela also tells her that she knows what she's going to do with the veto, but she specifically doesn't mention exactly what it is that she's going to do. But she does say, look, I want the 2 of us, Mackenzie, Cam, and Leah, to work together. Again, I feel like Angela's been trying to pitch that little group for a while. But she does say, like, you know, Chelsie says, look, like, I'm grateful that we're both here for another week. She starts to praise the big moves that she's made in the game. And, you know, Chelsea's kissing a little this week because she knows that Angela got power. The tone is very different, let's say that. But she does tell Angela that she wants to see her in Final 5. So Leah and Chelsie, they also have a conversation, and Chelsie says, look, Again, she always loves to reiterate that she has no final two or final three with anybody in this house. She says, look, I used to think Cam would choose me over Mackenzie in final two, but at this point, probably not. She does discuss how dangerous T-Core is if she makes it to the end. Chelsie says, look, if T-Core or Chemo are in final five, if any one of them sits next to them, they are going to go home. So again, planting those seeds, you know, T-Core, remember T-Core, remember how dangerous T-Core is. And Mackenzie and Leah have their one-on-one as well, and Leah just basically fills Mackenzie in on the fact that Angela is using the veto on Chemo and that T-Core will be going up. Now, Mackenzie says, I don't really want to see T-Core go, but at the end of the day, she is a bigger threat in this game, but she feels like Chelsie is not going to vote her out. And remember, Mackenzie has been talking a lot about how Chelsie doesn't want to touch T-Core, how that worries her, that Chelsie is so adamant about protecting T-Core. So she says that she, Angela, and Cam would likely vote out T-Core, but because she does feel like Cam would want to keep Rubina. Now, Leah reminds her, hey, either way, like, there's only 3 votes needed, so yeah. Mackenzie does reiterate, though, how T-Core is the glue to that trio, how, you know, without her, they love the phrase, they'll have to fall in line. Leah says if she wins the game for the janky veto, she's not going to use it, but again, she does, like, reiterate that she's not going to throw it. Leah and Rubina have their one-on-one, so Leah...
I still could not win whatever game it is. It's like you have to prepare. Yeah, either way, just in case. It's like you have to total prepare. But I don't think it's fair. Like, Rubina,
does tell Rubina, hey, I'm not going to throw the comp for the janky veto. She says if she wins the comp, she's on the fence about using it. Now, that's not really very true. Leah has said that she's probably not going to use the janky veto if she gets it. She just kind of wants to let Angela do her thing. She even said in her one-on-one with Angela that had Angela said something different, had Angela been like, hey, I really want to go for these 2 people, then maybe she would have had a different option. But as of right now, it is looking like Leah doesn't have any intention to use that veto. Now, she does tell Rubina she does not know what Angela will do, and it's not really fair to promise anything right now because she's not even sure if she's going to win the competition. Rubina says, look, she and Chemo know the reality of the situation, that eventually they will have to go their separate ways, that, you know, Rubina's trying to pitch that the trio is not as strong as we think it is, you know. It's not as strong as you think it is, Leah. We know that we're going to have to basically backstab each other, that all of us can't stick together. She says even though that the trio is perceived as a threat, that she is logical about the fact that they will eventually have to take shots at each other. And again, both T-Core and Rubina have done this thing where they've basically been like, no, it's girls. You know, we know we're going to have to backstab Chemo. Chemo who? It's... Rubina does say if she's in power next week, she has other people in mind. She's not planning to target Leah. I'm assuming she's implying Cam. I don't really know, but yeah. So Leah and T-Core, they have their one-on-one, and Leah tells T-Core that Angela may use the veto and that she is going to be a renom option. Now, she tells her, again, look, if anyone is next to you in the future, they probably aren't staying. You know, you have to understand the threat of that. She says she doesn't want to purposely think that she's putting just her in a negative situation. She tries to talk about how, like, she's targeting all 3 of them, or considering all 3 of them rather than just considering T-Core. So she wants her to think like, oh, it's not just you, it's all of you. Now, T-Core says, look, of course I'll respect any decision you make, but I would like if I didn't have to sit next to one of them. It would be incredibly tough for me this week. T-Core says, look, at this point, it all comes down to comps. She's trying to, like, imply to Leah, like, I'm not a comp threat, I don't win anything. But as you know, a lot of people have been talking about, Chelsie has been one of the big bad wolves, talking about how T-Core is throwing everything and telling that to other people. So, Now, T-Core does try to push the possibility of Cam being a renom. She doesn't really say his name, but she implies it. Leah gets what she means. And Leah says, again, she can't really go back on the deals that she's made this week. And that's where we're kind of at. So in terms of the veto, those are the conversations. And as of right now, it is looking like the veto is going to be used by Angela.
Because I always have, so I don't care. But I just want whatever you want to do, I respect it. Please know that. And I would never try to guide your decision in any way. Thank you. I respect how you feel. You've worked with
On Chemo, she feels like she owes him one. Chemo comes down, T-Core goes up. For votes, I'm gonna be completely honest. I know everybody thinks that T-Core is 100% staying. I do not believe that. There is only 3 votes. Mackenzie will vote out T-Core. Cam would likely vote out T-Core. And Chelsie, I think when it comes down to it, Chelsie would vote out T-Core. But they also have to keep in mind, Angela is voting. And Angela 100% would vote out T-Core. I don't know. I just find it very odd that there's this belief in the house that no matter who's up, T-Core is gonna stay. I don't believe that, because all she needs is 3 votes. And if you take Mackenzie, Angela, and I don't know, Cam, I don't know. I don't buy that. Or Chelsie. Because I definitely think Chelsie knows she needs to vote out T-Core. So let's say Angela, Mackenzie, Chelsie. I don't know. I think for me, I just don't. I think if T-Core is up, she's leaving. And that's what I think. So we're not done with this day yet, though. We get a little drama. Oh, okay. Now, Mackenzie and Cam, they're chilling outside. They're cuddling, doing their usual cuddling. Chelsea's over here, making a face. Chelsie gets riled up. Chelsie gets irritated. And there comes a certain point where Chelsie can't take it no more.
Yeah. Yes. I know. And he thinks it's funny. And it's not. I know. Yeah, that's fair.
She gets up. She takes her bed to the other side of the house. Her and Cam, they start getting into it. She says, he's showing off in front of the guys. He's showing off in front of the girls. He's showing off in front of the girls. He's doing it to get on my nerves. He's being an a-hole.
Stay on your side.
When I was gonna, you're making such a big deal off of me.
Dad.
You gotta move my bed.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm trying to move my bed. How am I being an asshole?
Let me go find my makeup.
Keep being police guy. What was he doing? He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny.
Cam's like, how am I being an a-hole? How am I being an a-hole? He's showing off in front of the girls. Rubina, of course, is comforting her. He's just trying to get on your nerves. That's disgusting. I hate how he's doing that. Chelsie moves to the other side of the yard. And we kind of end our night. With Chelsie and Cam getting into it. The long short of what happened is Chelsea saw Cam and Mackenzie cuddling, had enough, got up, stormed off, had a bit of a meltdown about it because, she likes Cam. She says Cam always treats her like an a-hole, treats everybody else so well. She moves her bed to the other side. Her and Cam get into it, and then everybody kind of just dissipates for the night. Will this have an impact on the game in the future? Who knows? Will this have an impact on Mackenzie and Chelsie? Who knows? Anyway, if you got to this point of the video, that means you like the video. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would help me to drum up engagement by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing on the videos. Share the videos with your friends, your family, anybody in your life who likes Big Brother. Also, please make sure you are still subscribed, make sure you have the bell on, and make sure that the subscribe button still says subscribe, because I know YouTube unsubscribes y'all sometimes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk after this renom ceremony tomorrow for another update. Bye!